Hello everybody and welcome to a new ROS questions and answers video. In the video of today we are going to be answering this question I saw in the ROS Answers forum, which says, how do I set the initial pose of a robot in Gazebo? So yeah, he says, let's say I've created my own world file that has a launch of the peer 2. This normally spawns the robot at x0, y0. How could I spawn it somewhere else, say x1, e1? Then here he says, I know I could spawn the robot and then move it by calling the service. Okay. He says the launch file has an arc called obtempt robot initial pose. How do I get at this from my world file? Okay, so let's see how to do this. How we can spawn the robot in a different initial position in the world. So for that we are going to use RDS as always. So let's go to the RDS website, Robot Development Studio. And here I'm going to create a new project, which I am going to call Initial Pose. Let's create the project. And then let's open it. There we are. Let's wait a few seconds. Here we have it. So now, first of all, let's open a web shell and I'm going to download a simulation. And I'm going to download here a simulation, the Turtlebot simulation in this case. So I'm going to the simulation workspace and inside the source directory I'm going to clone the Turtlebot repository. There we are. And meanwhile, let's open also an IDE in order to visualize the files that we modify. Here now in the simulation workspace you will see that the Turtlebot repository will appear. Here we have it. It's being downloaded right now, so let's wait a few seconds until it fully downloads. There it is, finishing. Okay, there it is. So now as you can see, it has finished downloading the repo and all the packages have appeared here in my IDE. And yeah, so first of all, let's make sure that we are in the kinetic branch, since RDS now uses kinetic instead of indigo. So we need to make sure that our simulations are in the kinetic branch. So I'm going to switch to the kinetic branch. There we are. Switch to new branch kinetic. Excellent. And then let's compile everything. Let's compile the world workspace. There we are. And meanwhile, let's come here to the IDE and let's have a look at the packages that we have here. Basically, the package that will launch the simulation is the Turtlebot Gazebo package, which is here. So let's open this one, and here as you can see we have the launch folder, and inside here we have this main.launch, which is the launch file that will launch the simulation. So let's open this one. I'm going to switch this to XML so that we can read it better. There we are. Okay, let's see how is this going. Okay, this is still compiling. And yeah, basically here we are launching many things. For instance, we are launching here the empty world. In fact, we are loading here the empty world, as you can see, which is passed through this world file, which is here. Okay, but well, yeah, this doesn't matter. What we have to focus on of this launch file is this include here, because here it's including this arcbase.launch.xml, and as you can see, the base argument it's defined here, and it's Kabuki. Yeah. So basically here it's loading our launch file that will be named, that it's named kabuki.launch.xml, which is inside the Turtlebot Gazebo launch includes. So inside this launch we have another folder which is includes, and in here we have this Kabuki launch XML file, which is the one that we are interested in. So let's open it and let's come back here, which has finished compiling everything. So let's source our workspace And now what I'm going to do is to launch the simulation normally, without touching anything, modifying anything. So I'm coming here to the simulations and I'm going to select a launch file. In this case, it's the main.launch from the Turtlebot Gazebo package, which is this one here. So I'm going to launch this file. Let's launch it here. And let's wait a few seconds until the simulation loads. As you can see, it's being loaded here. We can see the logs. Okay. There we are. So yeah, here it is loading the simulation. And yeah, it has loaded, as you can see, this wall with a wall here. And the Turtlebot, which is spawned in the 0, 0, 0 position of the world. Yeah? So this is the 0, this is the center of the world, let's say, x0, y0, and z0. So what we can do to modify this, to make it appear in other position in the world. So basically, if we come here to the Kabuki Launch XML file that we have opened before, we can see that one of the nodes that starts is this, this spawn model node, yes, which is here. And here, as an argument, we can see this opt-env robot initial pose, which here, this user, it's referring to, as you can see, this opt-env robot initial pose. So we have it also here. Yeah, this basically what does is to take an environment variable which is named robot initial pose. Yes, but what happens if we don't have this environment variable set or whatever? It's very, very simple. We can simply remove this and put the values ourselves. So for instance, I can take out this and say, okay, I want my Turtlebot robot to spawn at x1 and y1. Okay, so let's save this. Let's save this file. And if this is x0 and y0, x1 and y1 will be here, this position here. Yeah, right here. Let me zoom in. Yeah, so x1 and y1 will be this position here. Yeah, so let's see what happens. Let's close the simulation and relaunch it again and see if now our Turtlebot robot spawns in a different place. So let's see what happens. As you can see, we have just removed, let's take out the logs. We have just removed this initial pose variable. Yes, this robot initial pose variable, and we have put the values ourselves, x1 and y1. Okay? And there we are, the simulation is appearing. And here we have it. So yeah, as you can see, the robot hasn't spawned here, it has spawned here. Yes? So it has taken these values, x1 and y1, and it has spawned the robot there. We can, for instance, put, I don't know, let's put a higher value, for instance, 5 to the y, and you will see a higher effect here. So let's close and relaunch the simulation. One last time, there we are. So as you can see, it's very, very simple. You can just replace this robot initial pose with the values that you want here in the launch file, and the robot will be spawned there. Okay, there are other ways. For instance, you can also set you can set this environment variable directly in the ROS launch, but in this case we are not launching the simulation with a ROS launch but using RDS, so we cannot touch the ROS launch command. So this is why we are doing it like this. Yeah. So yeah, as you can see now, the robot has spawned in the Y5. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. As you can see, it's very simple to modify the place, the coordinates where your robot will spawn. And well, that's it. I hope this video has helped you. If you have liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We keep publishing videos like this every day. And well, I will see you in the next video. So goodbye.